I see lots of people joining. I'm so happy to see you all. I can't believe it. I'm so happy that finally our second Linguist United Conference Ukraine is here. It's 2024. It's a brand new year, and we are finally seeing, hearing all of you. I'm very happy. Okay, I see still people joining in. We have a few minutes before we actually start. So, okay, so about the certificates. This is the question that will be interesting to everyone. So I want to share this information, and I will remind you a little bit about the certificates throughout the day. So first of all, how can you get your hands on the certificates? You will receive a thank you letter from our wonderful friend Zoom, which will contain a link to a feedback form, which you of course need to follow, to click on the link and follow it, and of course fill in that feedback form. You will receive it 2 days after the end of the conference, and your certificates will be sent out to you within 10 working days. Why 10 working days? As you probably know, we have 3 days for our conference, and there will be a lot of you, and we will need to make sure that there are no mistakes, no wrong names put into the certificates, and so on and so on. So please be patient with us. We are diligently work on delivering the certificates as soon as we can, but remember, you will receive them. Oh, hello. So yeah, if for some reason you will see my cat in front of the camera, don't worry, it's fine. Once again, you will receive the certificates within 10 working days. If you will have some problems, maybe for some reason you, when registering, you filled in your name or surname wrong, please let us know. We will try to change it. We will try to correct your name or your surname, whichever was the problem, and give you the link to your brand new certificate. Okay, let's see. I'm waiting for Diana Головань. Is she here?
Hello.
Yes, hello, Diana. I'm happy to see you.
Hello, Diana.
I will go away. I will hide myself so you can share your screen. And so, first of all, this is Яна Головань. She is our head editor of our publishing Linguist House. You probably know her as the author of the Ukrainian component for Imagine for Ukraine 1. She also works on some very interesting books that will come out very soon. She will tell you all about it. I won't spoil the secrets. Yeah, if you have any questions to Diana or maybe to me, you can post them in our chat box. So now I will stop sharing my screen and I will let Diana have the floor.
Thank you, Yana. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I am really honored to be the first to start this conference. Dear colleagues, I'm happy to welcome you here at the first day of our conference. And I do hope you will get a great time, lots of ideas, and you will be full with new techniques and tasks to do with your students when they come back from the spring holidays. What we are going to do in the following hour, first, I am actually very excited to introduce you to our new products, what you will be able to get to buy in the next academic year. And after that, we will move to the main topic. We will be talking about games in the primary classroom. So again, welcome everyone, and I think we can start. I'm Diana Головань, editor-in-chief at Linguist Publishing, and what we do at Linguist Publishing is creating opportunities for students in Ukraine to be able to learn English with the help of the leading textbooks. So we cooperate with great partners from all over the world. These are NMT Publications, Cambridge University Press and Assessment, National Geographic Learning, and we adapt the books that then go to the state book competition. And we are really proud of it that together with world famous publishers, we are able to bring good high quality English material into every classroom. So what teachers usually do during this textbook competition, they are able to look through our textbooks and then vote for them and get them to their libraries. And I'm happy that this year it was the year when the books for the 5th and for the 6th grade were published, and the schools got them. Together with that, we try to support students. We try to give them the most of what can be done during the school education. So we provide a wide range of different learning materials like grammar books, textbooks, teachers' books, workbooks, some additional books for students in both primary and secondary school in Ukrainian school. We believe that if we give these adapted books, it gives you just great benefits. So first of all, as I said, we try to ensure accessibility. As the books are provided by the state, it means that they are available to everyone in Ukraine. Also, we believe that having the world famous books on their desks in their classrooms, students are really engaged and interested in the language. And this, the fresh material from the book, the authentic material that they can find in our textbooks really give them motivation to study. They see how the language works in the real world. These are not the artificial texts. They are real texts like articles, interviews, and many others. So students see great examples of how the English can be used, and they learn to work with it throughout their studying. And we also create opportunities for students. If they need more practice, like grammar practice, here are lots of grammar books that can be found at Linguist Publishing sites. There are also test books to check the progress and many, many other things. And I truly believe that this is something very important for our educational system, that we have this opportunity to provide students with the world-famous books. While adapting, we pay great attention to Ukraine, to our culture. We would like students to be able to talk about their country wherever they are. If they travel or they move to another country, they have these skills that will help them talk about Ukraine, present Ukraine, and share this great culture, the great history of our state. We started from the very young ages. So starting from the first grade, we try to add some information that students can use while talking about Ukraine. Like here on the screen on your left, you can see a lesson about Ukrainian traditional food. It is taken from the second grade. So students in the second grade are introduced to some traditional product that we eat every day, and they are able to discuss how to what 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗴𝘂𝗶𝗃 means, for example, or what 𝗨𝗨𝗏𝗃𝗃 are, and why do you need to eat banash. So these are some skills that are easy for students to remember, and they know it, and for them it's a great pleasure to see that something that they know in their lives, like their native towns, their native food, people they can see on TV, everything can be there, and they will study it and talk about it with foreigners. So by this, we educate proudness for being Ukrainian, and I guess this is a great idea. So a short sneak peek into what we would like to present you in the next academic year. So I believe that starting from summer and closer to autumn, a lot of further books will be published, and you will be able to use them with your students and to choose this combination that will help to take you most out of any course. So on the upper row, these are 5 textbooks that were in the state competition. Each of these books found its admirers, and all of the books were chosen by teachers. So thank you very much. For me, it's interesting to know if you were the teachers who chose any of these books for secondary schools like Prepare or Full Blast, for the 7th grade, or for primary schools. There are 3 different textbooks: Imagine for Ukraine, Superminds Ukrainian edition, and Smart Junior for Ukraine updated edition. So if you have voted for any of it in the previous months, so share with me what books you prefer, or probably which book you didn't know about but you would like to find out more. Also, together with this, we provide, as I have told you, we provide a great range of supportive materials. There will be most of them that you know, and some new titles. So our books for primary learners, these are Superminds Ukrainian edition, Imagine for Ukraine, and Smart Junior Ukrainian edition, updated edition. Smart Junior for Ukraine, updated edition. When we are talking about this, line of the products for Superminds Ukrainian edition, together with the textbook, you can also choose to work with Superminds workbook and Superphonics book. It is over there covered by this wonderful story. So these 2 books are a great support for the textbook, so it helps to practice different knowledge that students got from the students' book, like grammar, vocabulary, some language chunks. They will remember the stories. Superphonics book, this is very important for primary students to be able to read and write correctly. So we have these special pages in the textbook that were dedicated to phonics. Some more complicated letter structures will be learned by students, and with the help of the Superphonics book, they will be able to practice every phonics in many different ways. So here, let's have a look at some of the pages of these books. What I love about workbook is that it is the full color workbook, so it really attracts young learners and helps them see and want to come back to it and do more and more exercises. And it consists of lots of favorite tasks like matching, crosswords, coloring, so everything that young learners love doing. Phonics, these are books that help to practice reading more simple words, And also students turn to try to learn some stories like comic strip that you can see and some texts that will be at the end of the Superphonics book. Super Skills book is an additional material. So if you feel the students want to know more, they need more practice with everything, with vocabulary, with grammar, with speaking, listening, writing, and reading, you go for Super Skills. So this is the book that that supports the main course and help to develop and practice all the skills deeper. Imagine for Ukraine's course. This is a wonderful course that is based on the real-life photos created with the cooperation with National Geographic Learning. Each unit starts with a wonderful photo of Ukraine, and students will discuss different interesting things. Can you imagine yourself teaching second graders? When you open the books and you can see such bright, colorful pictures that, and students will read, or you can read to them that, okay, do you know where this photo was taken? It's Ukraine. It is called the 𝗨𝗸𝗶𝘂𝗶𝘀𝗁 village, and you can see there are some animals. Do you know what animals they are? They are sheep. Have you ever seen sheep? Yes, I went to my grandma and I saw sheep over there. So it's the real life in your classroom. It's something that can help you start talking and help your students start talking about it. So these courses also have its supporters workbook that helps to practice all necessary skills. And students will get dive deeper into the reading texts from the textbook. They will practice vocabulary, memorize spelling, and do many other useful tasks. For additional tasks, for additional lessons, you also can go for, imagine for Ukraine reading anthology for young learners. If you were the teacher who used Imagine One with their students, you got this reading anthology inside the textbook. The texts there were really simple, just several words, several sentences, and students, it was like a part of the course. As for the second grade, the course is becoming more complicated. Students need more practice. We decided to make the separate book. Students will get 5 stories. Quite a big story, and also together with the story they will get a bunch of activities that help to support and prepare learners for reading. So they will pre-teach some vocabulary, they will practice on some spelling rules, they will notice some complicated words, they will practice them after reading activities. So about 6 activities for each story will help you to create the whole lesson based on the story. So it won't be just the story, it will be the full book that helps to develop reading skills. I know that lots of teachers struggle with the writing, not struggle with the materials for writing with the students, because in the primary school they need a good practice of writing. They need to remember all the words, so to be successful learners in the future. That is why we prepared the second book for writing practice. This is the book that will gradually lead students to write simple sentences. So we start from the words, we recall the spelling words, we recall some grammar rules, and after that we will practice creating sentences out of the words. Students will get lots of model texts for them to understand what is expected. They will find out some notes that are about some spelling rules, like when we need to put full stops, when we need apostrophes and something like that. And also more grammar, like here in this example, you can see a note for plural. So don't forget to make plural when you write. And then they will be prepared to write down their own texts, which is great. Smart Junior Ukrainian edition, this is updated edition. And we updated this book. We created more tasks on dedicated to phonics. We add more writing activities for students to practice grammar, not only orally, but also in their copybooks. So it is also accompanied by the full range of extra materials like workbook, teacher's book, smart dictionary, smart vocabulary. Moving on to the secondary school, I'm sure that you have at least once seen such books as Prepare Ukrainian editions or Full Blast Plus for Ukraine. As for Prepare Ukrainian edition, it has also for the 7th grade students, they study at so they have completed A2 level in the 6th grade, and now they need to get the B1 level by the end of the 9th grade. So the 7th grade is a start, something like A2 plus, when students moving from pre-intermediate to intermediate level. And of course, what students need more than ever is lots of practice. So together with the book, which also has lots of useful real-life lessons, teaches life skills, you can choose and something that is necessary for your students, like workbook for homeworks, for extra practice, grammar. If you feel that your students need more practice, they need more, it is not enough exercises for you in students' book and workbook together, you want more, then you don't need to find some worksheets and adapt them to the course. You just have the created by English and Ukrainian authors grammar book, and they will have a lot of practice and a continuous revision of the material, which is useful. Test book. Also, so it stops you from printing out lots of materials, from looking for tests, for preparing tests. Each textbook contains 2 levels of test for every unit, easier and more complicated, and also term tests. So when you finish term 1, you have already created test to check students' listening, reading, writing, speaking skills. The same is by the end of the year. You also have such an opportunity. So everything together creates a great opportunity to learn English. Prepare around English-speaking countries. This is something that I'm looking forward to. Maybe you have heard about Prepare Around the World book. It was created for the students of the 5th and 6th grade, and it tells stories from all over the world. So when we were working on the continuation, we were thinking that as students are English learners, so they need to know what people in English-speaking countries do. We choose different countries, some typical ones like England, Ireland, Scotland, the USA, but also there are lots of English-speaking countries in the world, right? So we decided that our students need to know about that. So there will be some interesting text for example, about the life in the Cook Islands, or some other places like Malaysia and others. And each lesson has the text that tells the story. For example, about the culture, about the food, about the way of life, about famous people, and so on. And there will be lots of activities that help students develop their speaking skills, their vocabulary, and their ability to work in pairs, to work on their own, and develop necessary skills for the 21st century. Not for, but in the 21st century. So each lesson is finishes with the project. I am looking forward to seeing this book in print, so I just wait for this moment when it will be available, and I hope you all are also interested in it. Full Blast Plus for Ukraine 7. After we have reviewed and we heard lots of feedback from the teachers about the first two books, we decided to create the 7th grade, which help to systematize the materials that was studied in the previous year. So the 7th grade is a great and very smooth transfer to the next level. Students will revise and go deeper into the materials that they were studied before. So what you were in the 5th and 6th grade will be recycled again here, of course, on the new language. There is a full range of books that are being prepared right now, like workbook, grammar, and textbooklet. I'm excited to say that starting from this year, we decided to bring back printed teachers' books. And I hope that in summer, you will be able to get the printed teacher's book together with the workbooks for your students. We are now working hard to prepare and to publish books for all 7 grades, from the 5th, all 3 grades for the 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, both titles Prepare and Full Blast Plus for Ukraine. And if you're interested in getting the teacher's book, visit the site. You will find out their information about this program. And also, I think that in summer, you can go to online shop linguist.ua and then find and order this book if you, for some reason, the program suggested by Linguist is not for you. So I believe that it will be the great support for teachers. As being teacher myself, I understand that it's important to have a student's book in front of you and touch it and make notes in it. And so it's a great helper for you. We are trying also to support teachers by different methods. So at publishing linguist.ua, starting from September, appeared a new topic, internet support for students. Also, if you haven't done it yet, I hope I'm mistaken, but if still you don't know, please visit publishinglinguist.ua, where you can find all supported materials for teachers, like the plans, worksheets, videos, extra vocabulary worksheets, teacher's book online version, some samples of our titles, and more and more. Also, have a look here. Here it is for you to look at. Also, have a look at this button, Internet підтримки, Internet support. This is, you can find it over here. You can go on the site and find this button on the title. For students, if you want them to use it, you can ask them to find this part on their site. It is for students, and there they need just to choose their class, like 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 6th grade, and find out, find the cover of their book, and then they will get audios, videos, games, worksheets separated by units for easier navigation. And I read lots of comments that it really helps students. I will tell about it a bit more. Also, I would like to say that Linguist Publishing has one more brand for teachers of science, of IT, math, formula, math, science, and ICT. And this publisher creates books for different subjects other than English. like math, science, ICT. And I know that in several days there also will be part of the conference for such teachers, for math, science, information technologies, teacher science. So if you know anyone who hasn't registered or there, just let them know about the conference. They can find the link for themselves and listen some very interesting information about teaching other subjects to students. So feel free to share this with your colleagues. We'll be happy very much. So yes, the formula conference starts on March 28th at 2 o'clock. So just tell your colleagues about that. Don't forget about it. I believe that methodologists have prepared great webinars for teachers. And finally, let's move on to the topic. We will be talking about gamification, about playing games with young learners. I prepared lots of questions for you, and then I will be also sharing what interesting games you already have with our books, and I will teach you how to go there. So we will be talking about games in the primary classroom. Then we'll do some investigation, understanding what type of a teacher you are, and the presentation of support for learning and teaching by Linguist Publishing. Okay, let's move on. So, some questions for you. I had lots of talk in the past 30 minutes, so I think it's time for you to help me conduct this webinar. How often do you play games with your learners? Several games per lessons, every lesson, sometimes, rarely, mostly at holiday lessons or review lessons. So two, I see. Lots of you. Every lesson, good. So every lesson you play at least one game. Wonderful. Yes, sometimes, yes, it's not always. So that's great. It's really wonderful. Good. Thank you. So every lesson is the leaders, but some of you also play sometimes. I guess you prefer learning, and games can be just like great benefit for your students. Good. Thank you. It's just for me to know what the teachers are living in, what they need. What games do you play mostly? Active games, board games, or online games with your students? Active games, online games. Not board games. Some of you, all of them, but mostly, yeah. So if to choose which is the most popular, active, yeah. Of course, young learners, they need active games. It's important for them to stand up, to move, and to do something with their hands also. Good. Thank you very much for sharing. And my last question for this survey: what is your role? I'm a leader and organizer. I'm a supervisor and model. I'm a model and observer. We are talking about primary classroom. Facilitator, supervisor, observer, leader, everything. Yes. Great. Yes. So what is the difference here? When you feel that I think that it depends also on the age of the student, right? So can you imagine the first graders coming into the classroom? What they need? They need some leader, they need some model, they need to understand where they are, what they need to do, why these things are on their desks, why they can't go and play, why they need to sit still, right? So I think for the first graders, we usually start as organizers. We want to teach our students to be effective learners. And sometimes to be effective learners, you need to be able to play effectively, right? So we need to organize everything. Of course, modeling and supervising is great Once students understand the rules, once they know, once they are familiar with such type of an activity in the classroom, when your class, when your group understands that it's English lesson, it's a lesson when we not only not only read and write, this is a lesson when we can play, and there are some rules that we need to follow. After that, it's much easier to supervise and model the activities. What I remember when I was working in the primary school, that it's really very rewarding. So first, you put lots of effort trying to understand that it's okay to lose the game, yes, something like that. It's great if I ask you to do some activities, doesn't mean that you need to go mad. It's okay to go mad just for a second. I am the game very first month of the year, later organize and supervise only. Yes, Katrina, the same. What is I'm trying to explain here, right? So first you put lots of attention, effort trying to make students play the game, to understand that there are rules that they need to follow, the rules that they need to respect others. And once they get this idea, it's easier. What you can do is just nothing, just suggest games, choose someone from the class, and they will organize game for you. That's a great pleasure to see. I remember this. In some stages of the lesson, we have sometimes students that becomes like leaders. So their task was to play some game with others, or to organize, to ask questions. And what you do then, it's you can relax, observe your class from a different point, and understand who needs more support, what is something that you can miss while you are at the board, and something like that, right? So our roles are different. It depends on the situation. It depends on the level of the students, and their not only English level, and mostly not English level. It's totally fine to play the game when you don't know any words. It's the reason of the game, right? So you just can play to find out some words. But at the level, like the age of the student, their ability to work. Young learners, actually, in the first grade, they are mostly focused on the teacher. They are not very focused on their peers. And for them, teacher is like model. They want to be like him or her. So, and they are not very interested in others. So when they move forward to the next grades, they are more and more engaged in playing with other students. This is also we need to keep in mind when we prepare the game. So sometimes first graders or second graders in the beginning of the year, they won't play with others just because they have some other focus. They don't understand. That is why we need to model and teach them. Okay. I noticed that board games were less popular option, right? Sometimes I heard from my colleagues that it can be difficult to organize such games with the students. So they want answers, they will do something differently, they will do something pretending they learn something. It's difficult to monitor students. But anyway, it is not the reason for this game. And also our books have board games inside them. So you don't need to prepare anything. You just open the book on this necessary page and ask students to take some rubbers or something, and they can play the game. So I think it's just like perfect preparation. What do you think? Let's look at this game from Imagine for Ukraine grade 2. What do you think are the aim of this game? Would you play this game as a whole class or groups, or put students into groups? And what problems students may face? Teaching there is zero. Yeah, board games are more time consuming. That's right. And vocabulary. Board game, journal accessing grammar, vocabulary, right? Thank you. Good guesses, good guesses. Practice vocabulary, put in small groups, speaking vocabulary. Yes, yes. So this is usually this textbook has one game after each second unit. So it's just like a revision game. The authors suggested that students will learn the vocabulary, grammar, and then after several lessons, they are able to play the games on their own. So they are already familiar with the language. They just need to memorize it, or maybe to recall it, to practice it. And of course, this is a board game, I think everyone guessed. The whole class or group. To model, it's good to play it like whole class, like teacher with students or one student with the rest of the class. But of course, it's great if we can put students into small groups. But what actually problems can teachers face there? Maybe what problems with organizing? It helps to speak, especially for weak students. Yes, when they don't need to talk in front of the whole class, it's easy. Yes, problems with organizing, accuracy control, forget the words. Good, yes. Shy or not motivated. Yes, that is true. Okay, so if we are talking about the games in the lesson, about the board game in the lesson, what we need to do? Here, I prepared some steps of such a lesson, such a part of the lesson. They are not in the correct order. So let's look at all the steps and decide how we can put them into the correct order so we won't fail in this game. Make pairs or groups, explain the rules, hand out some dice encounters, practice some language, model a game with 2 volunteers, check understanding or ICQs, like instruction, concept questions, check questions, instruction check questions, elicit some answers, praise your students, monitor. Explain the rules. You suggest to start with explain the rules, check understanding, 1D, practice some language. We keep in mind that this is for the primary students. These are not for secondary grades because it's, I think the procedure would be easier. B and E. Okay, good idea. So recall in my experience, recall in my classes, let's imagine you have the class of 20-something students, if you're, or maybe 15 students, and BEA. So what you need, we start from explaining the rules. So I can show students what we need to keep in mind. It should be written somewhere in our notes. So simple instructions. Yeah. Instructions should be, can you see my screen? Something just has missed, so I'm not sure that it's okay. Yes, okay, good. So what about instructions? So what you do with the instructions, they should be simple. They should not contain more than 3 words in one. Yeah, so take the dice, roll the dice, take the counter, answer, like this. Take turns, ask questions or read the questions. So they should be really simple. It's a good idea to practice instructions with the other teachers while you're preparing for the lessons. It can be really fun because if you can organize teachers between the lessons, you will organize students as well. Good. So many different ideas. Okay, I won't take it any longer. Let's look at my suggestion and some justification for it. So first, I suggest that we make pairs or groups. So because once students are settled down in their pair, in their group, first, they will get used to it. Secondly, you won't then lose the time. So first, what you do is make in pairs or groups. After that, you can, of course, tell them, so today we are going to play a board game. Hooray! Yeah, so let's make some groups. Then we practice language. There was one of the problems that you mentioned, the students may lack the language. As this is the review, we suppose that they will know more of the material, but of course, students are just learning, so they need more practice. That is why we use flashcards, we use pages from the previous lessons, we practice. We also can drill correct answers, like here, look at question 9. Say about your lunchbox. There are. So you can practice it, like showing the picture and say, okay, what you can see here. They will say, a girl. There is a girl. All together, there is a girl. A girl. Then you point, a boy. Oh, there is a boy. Like 1, 2 apples. There are 2 apples, and something like this. Look in the class around you. What is there? Say about your class. And they drill and you practice and you motivate them to make longer sentences. After that, so they are already in their groups. They are practicing the language. Then you explain the rules. After that, it could be a model in a game with 2 volunteers. Also, you can switch these two stages, and students, first you can model, then explain the rule, like eliciting the rules. After that, we check understanding. So do you play in groups? Do you answer the questions? These are bad examples of ICQs. ICQs should contain answers, not like yes and no, so you can ask. What you do with the dice? You roll the dice, yes. Do you answer the question or do you write it down? Yeah, we answer the question. Yes. Do you take turns or scream? We take turns and something like that. Hand out some dice and counters, because if we hand out something before the rules, you will lose your students. So first you just show them, check they are ready to play, and the very last minute is hand out these things. Then you monitor what students say. If you see that lots of students don't answer the full questions, don't give the full answers, they forget the words, it's a reminder for you. It's not the bad game. It's a good example and sign for you that the students need some more practice. So for the next game, you will know what you need to prepare. So it's not the failed game. Elicit some answers after, so students see the good models, and praise your students, telling them that they are actually great. So don't be afraid of board games. Just follow the instruction, this instruction, and try to organize it. This is a good thing for students to start really talking when they are 8 years old. It's great. Anna asked about delivering an online lesson. I would say that, of course, it's a bit more challenging. With the young learners, it's hard to put them into separate rooms so they will play. I think it's closer to the end of the primary school. But in this case, online games come to your help. And here is what I wanted to show you. Just 1 second. What we created at Linguist. I told you before that here is at our site, Linguist Publishing Linguist.ua. Here is this field, для учнів та учениць. It suggests to choose the textbook. We can choose the textbook, the grade. I will show you the games from the second grade, but they are not for the youth right now. That is why we will look at the first grade. So what you do, they choose the first grade, then they see the covers. Oh, this is my book, I can open it. Or, oh, this is my book, I will open it. Then
I'm very, very sorry to interrupt, but you can access the second grade, the samples from the second grade page, basically. So
so on the page, on the book page, there are some demos, so you can do it. Thank you, Yana, very much. So if you can just go and investigate it right now. So there are samples, you just go here, для вчителя, you choose primary school and something like that. Yeah, I just totally forget about that we have something. Then you choose resources and fun, and according to the topics that you use, your students can have several games which can be used in online learning. My words is like Quizlet cards, audios and videos for students to practice. To reach the video, you need to put the password on the cover. So game 2, let's have a look. I remember the students love this. So what you do here, you just randomly ask students to choose a number. You can put groups, like students into some groups, maybe. Like girls and boys, or I don't know, students who have A in their name and others, or you just yes, in the chat you have the examples. For example, 3. So what they need to do? Oh, they need to answer the question. Hello, monster, how many legs have you got? I've got 3 legs, I've got 2 legs, I've got 5 legs. So, of course, if so you have this online group, students will just answer the questions with you, something like that. This is really why these games, actually. Of course, we all use word wall, we all have Quizlet, everything, but what is here? Okay, I didn't choose, so I lose the game. Oh, shame on me. Why do you need it? It's because all the games are about the language that was studied in the topic. So you will, if you choose, for example, on the farm, you will definitely get the same words that were studied in the book. So it means that you won't need to create your own games. You don't need to look at the game and think, okay, it's a great game, but they don't know 50% of such words. So it's a great practice, like initially practice. A bird can sing and a bird fly. Okay, what do I need to choose? You can also ask students to write down. So, okay, when I see 5 correct answers, I will check them. When I see 5 answers, I will then check. So students will write down in their chat box, can't or can. I don't see any, so I didn't need to see 5 answers. Okay, I see 1. Can. Yes, I can see. Let's check. Is it correct or no? Oh, yay! So 1 point for you, class. Great job. Okay, one more game. Can or can't? A duck can swim and a duck can fly. Oh my God. Can ducks fly? I don't really understand. No, the answer can, can't. Oh, okay, I see different answers. What should we choose? Can or can't? Okay, more cans there. Or can't. I saw the ducks in my life, but I don't really remember.
The trick here is with and, because in the 5th unit, they are talking about connecting parts of the sentences together. And so, yeah, I decided that, and Irina probably too, she was the one who created the games for Imagine, as far as I remember. So yeah, she probably decided to include that question.
I totally understand. The students will know more. They will tell about wild ducks, as it was the comment over there. So feel free, once you use our books, either Prepare, Full Blast, Smart Junior, Imagine, or Superminds, you just go here, you choose everything, you choose your topic, your grade, your book, and here is a bunch of useful materials like 2 games or sometimes 3 games. My words are Quizlet cards, which you can also organize games, audios, and some worksheets. For example, like here for Imagine, we have self-assessment unit test. This is to help students develop the self-assessment skills. So they can do it online, or you can print it out and they will do it in their books. Everything is very convenient, so it's really easy to use, to understand, and you can be sure that you will revise and practice that material that were in your lesson. I think that my time is over. I maybe even took your time for a break.
Yes, but I think nobody would be opposed to that, so I think it's okay.
Good, thank you, Yana. I do hope that everyone
so I
also
think we will
like that.
have a quick break. We will wait for our next speaker to join us. I know she told me she will join us right on the dot at 3 o'clock. So I think we will all have a little break. Then we will come back after 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Oh, Inna Skripnik, she's here. So yes, we will still have a quick break. We will relax so we can go back to absorbing more knowledge from all of our wonderful speakers today. And yes, if you have maybe any questions, you can leave them in the chat box. We will make sure to answer them. And yeah, we will see you in 5 minutes, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Today, I am really happy to give the floor to one of the authors of the Ukrainian components for your favorite, as I saw from the comments, course, one of your favorites in the comments, Prepare. It's Inna Skripnik. I think some of you already know her. And honestly, I'm very happy to see other speakers joining us because it used to be all us, all methodologists, all our own people, but we are gathering our supporters, our friends. And yes, we are happy to welcome people who have the same mindset as us, that want to share Ukrainian culture, Ukrainian not just Ukrainian culture, but just Ukraine, share Ukraine to the world by showing our students that Ukraine is a country that we should be proud of and that we need to talk more about in the world. So, Inna Skripnik, she will tell you more about herself. Yes, we decided to change the order of our speakers a little bit today. I will take up the second half of the conference today. So yes, Inna, I welcome you. I'm giving you the floor. So yes.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here. Usually I'm taking part of this kind of conferences, but usually I took part as a teacher. But this time I'm talking today as an author of the book of Prepare 7. So I want to talk about my experience of becoming an author, why I decided to do that, and the implementation of Ukrainian culture into the Ukrainian textbook. First of all, I will introduce myself. So I'm Inna Skripnik. I'm CELTA qualified teacher with 15 years of experience. For now, I'm an author of 3 books, which is ZNO Leader Test B1, Superminds 2, and Prepare Grade 7, about which I'm going to talk today. Also, this year, I started a TikTok channel and Telegram channel, which is called 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗏. This is for Ukrainians to learn English, because I believe that our future is in Europe, and I would really like our people to speak Ukrainian well. And I truly believe that every learner is capable of learning the language. So today I'm going to talk about my authorship and about integrating Ukrainian culture into the textbooks. So first of all, how did I become the author of this book? Back in 2022, I was also taking part in this kind of conference, where I took part as a teacher, and there was some kind of contest where we needed to write a lesson plan, and I won this contest. So Lingvist sent me some interesting presents, so please pay attention, and you also can take part in some competitions like this. And then I understood that to become an author, I thought it is very difficult, but actually it's not that difficult as it may seem. First of all, you need to be a teacher. Yes, and from my point of view, the key point of being a teacher means to be a good teacher. So personally for you, when you say the phrase, I am a teacher, what does it mean? Can you please share a word or phrase which comes to your mind when you hear, I am a teacher? It means... So please write, to love kids. Yes, to love kids. I agree with you. Any other ideas? Thank you, Irena. So I am a teacher. It means facilitator. Great. I am patient. Wonderful. I always study. Yes, development, self-development. Great. Responsibility, being knowledgeable, and many other supportive and friends. So you see, so to be a teacher, I'm keen on my job, to be a friend. So we have so many roles, but personally, it's not only about teaching. Yes, when you are a teacher, you proudly can say that you inspire your students to follow their dreams, to discover their creativity, to find their talents, and actually to show them that they can use their talent for the fullest. So, but to show this to our students, we need to show that we enjoy our profession, that we are stars in our own classroom. And to make students come to your lesson, you need to make your lesson very creative. And how can we do that? So first of all, this is about your charisma, your engagement, these vibes that attract your students to come to your lessons. You can grab the attention of the student. You make them feel comfortable and eager to participate in your class. So engagement and charisma, this is the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about a great teacher. The second thing, I think it is very close to Ukrainian teacher. This is flexibility. Look at these superstars here, superhumans, yes, so superheroes. I believe that every Ukrainian teacher nowadays is a superhuman. Why? Because we have understood that there is nothing so stable as the change. We deal with the effects of pandemic. We survived it. Now we are dealing with ongoing war. Not all the classes are working. Some teachers are working online. Some teachers are working offline. We have blended learning classes, but we handle all of that. We support our students emotionally. We make them learn and to be interested. And we make this wonderful learning environment. But that's about what can we do. But we are also humans. We also need some support. And what comes to my mind is a good foundation. We need to feel the ground under our feet. So if I talk about foundation, the first thing comes to my mind, this is good textbook. Because a good textbook is something like a roadmap for you, which you can be sure that you use this information and this is reliable, and this is accurate, and that you need not to create something from the scratch, but just to add a pinch of your charisma and you have a wonderful lesson. So that's my idea of the textbook which I want to use, which I usually choose as a teacher. And then back in 2020, in 2022, a month before the full invasion started, I had negative experience. And actually, because of this experience, I became an author. I had a student whose parents contacted me, and they wanted me to help this student, a young gentleman of 13 years old, to deal with his English. And basically, they asked me to motivate a student because he had good level of English, but he doesn't want to attend school lessons because it's boring. And I said, why? English is not boring. It's interesting. And then I have understood why. So these are the screenshots from my Viber when I was writing and communicating with this 13-year-old boy who studied in one of the top lyceums in Kyiv, just in the heart of our capital. And you know what? This is the first time when I hated having the lessons because I couldn't use any other book. I needed to motivate the student, but all the time I found some inaccuracies in the book, and I was trying to make the lessons interesting, and I always was talking about how bad is this book and that we can use something else. So why the student and I hated the book on Ukrainian culture studies? First of all, because of complex language. For the boy of the 7th grade, it was too complicated with all the passive structures and the stuff like this. So it made him bored when he read the second sentence. Lack of visual aids. We know that we work with different kind of learners. That's why we need to have something bright. Outdated information. If I come back, so you can see that in 2022, there was some information which was taken from Soviet Union books, and I was shocked to see that. I have found some inaccuracies and some propaganda thing in this book. I was talking to the teacher who had that lesson. I was talking to parents, but unfortunately, there was no flexibility in these things. So I was thinking and talking, and there was no way of me to take an action. And then, but I came to conclusion. So to make the book interesting, what we need, that's so simple. We need to have appropriate language level so the students can easily understand it. We need to have visual aids for them to be interested. And of course, we need to remember that there are visual learners. And to increase interactivity, why do they learn that? They need to apply it somehow. So that's when I was trying to find the way I can imply all this knowledge. And back in 2022, it was spring, which showed the big resilience of Ukrainians, the pride of Ukrainian nation. And I understood that also it is very important to show our students that it is cool to be Ukrainian. And that's what we need to have during our lessons too. So when I had a chance to make a difference, this is a moment when Діана Головань, who is an editor-in-chief, gave me a call, and she asked me whether I'd like to become an author of Prepare grade 7. And the first thing comes to my mind, I said, no, that's too hard. But then I decided to try do that. And you know what? The first thing I read, that was the international education standards. In these standards, you can see that during every lesson, we don't need to talk only about traditions of English-speaking countries, but also in UNESCO's plan of education till 2030, they want us to teach students about different cultures, to prepare them to live and succeed in diverse world, to be assured that we live among other people with different views. And that's why when we have different textbooks, you can see that we are talking not only about Great Britain or about America, we'll talk about other countries. But then you can see some inaccuracies there. For example, in one of the examples, they talk about Ukraine, but they make mistakes in spelling the capital of our country. They still put our capital of Ukraine and capital of Russia together in one sentence. And I think this is our duty to make the world understand that we are different countries with different people, with different future, and with different perspective of this world. And this is the way I decided to become an author and to write some interesting facts about Ukraine so students can be proud of our culture and of our nation. So for example, so that's how these culture pages came to life. And I was trying to find very interesting information, engaging information. For example, when we talk about sports, so we talk about such new sport which is becoming very popular worldwide, and this is floorball. I was lucky enough to work with one of the coaches and the person who bring this kind of sport to Ukraine. This is 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗏. So he used to work with me in one of private schools as a PE teacher. And when I was writing this book, I was contacting him, and he sent me some information about this floorball and a lot of support I have from him. So that's how this lesson was created. Also, I was trying to find something not trivial, not talking about football or basketball, but something which makes students think, that which makes student research. So that's how I ended up with such sports like 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗏. And this is thanks to my student who is a Ukrainian champion of horse. She's a great horse rider. She's only 12, but I think she's the future star. And every lesson she talks about horses. So that's how I get to know about 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗏. So what I want to say that we need to follow the ideas and the dreams, and also we need to know what our students, what young generation is interested in. And the next thing which I want to talk about, this is about culture page about 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗂𝗶𝘂𝗀𝗃. So I must confess that I don't remember about any other national park from the school except for Askania Nova. But we talk about it a lot. And when I was trying to find something interesting, Instagram helped me. Back in 2022, when the full-scale war was happening, and I wanted to calm down somehow because I was pregnant that time. So the only tool which I actually could use, that was meditation. And for me, it was very important to meditate either in Ukrainian or in English. And that time I have found Katya Kulik, who has Медитуй українською in Instagram and in YouTube channel. And actually, she lives in 𝗨𝗶𝗂𝗶𝗂𝗃𝗃, and every time she talks in her stories while she's walking with her dogs and how beautiful the place is. So actually what I did, I contacted Katya asking, is it that beautiful? And that I want to write about 𝗨𝗶𝗂𝗃𝗃. And she said, of course, it's beautiful. Come and see it. And actually what I did, I came to her place and she showed me around the beautiful 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗃𝗃 and all the surroundings there. And I decided that yes, that will be interesting for the students. And what I want to say that usually I do remember being a teacher, and sometimes for the sake of grammar lessons or vocabulary lessons, we want to skip these culture pages, but please don't do that, because these pages make students think, make them research about our land. And you can use this text for finding good grammar, for finding wonderful vocabulary. For example, here you will find lots of names of different animals that live in 𝗨𝗶𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃. So I believe this is just a treasure for the teacher to work with such kind of text. Personally, I'd love to work with it. And when I wrote about this text, the fifth part, it's about mobility impaired people. And then the editor gave me a call asking me, are you sure that they have all these traits? And I actually gave a call to Kam'янець-Подільський Castle Museum, and they assured me that yes, they have everything which we mentioned in the text. But I had this hesitation whether it's true or not. So what I did, I grabbed my kids and I had the baby stroller. Mikhailik that time was like around 1 year, so he was I don't remember exactly, but it was a year ago, so he was around a year, and I used all these traits. So yes, it is possible to walk there with a baby stroller, so it will be easy for mobility impaired people to walk there. And as I was writing about Atlantis Cave, about which Katya Kulik told me, it was so interesting to Google about it, so I decided, why not to come there? And actually, I did. I went to this cave to see whether it is possible to go there, and this information is accurate. So you can do that too. So you can take your class and make the school trip to these wonders of our land. Because personally, I haven't heard about them from my school years. And when I was preparing this book, I was shocked and pleased how many wonderful things we have around, but we are not aware of. So that's why I wanted to make a book that opens Ukraine for you through English. Through English, you can learn not only the language, but also to learn it, to use it, and to be proud citizen of our country. Because we have so many wonderful places, not to talk only about Kyiv or Lviv, but also look at these mesmerizing pictures, the breathtaking view here. So we talk about Uzhhorod, we talk about Shenburn Castle, And you can have lots of projects, Googling about them. If you have a chance to go to the school trip, please do it. So that, because our country, it's mesmerizing and wonderful. And so we have some unknown places. We have some well-known places in Ukraine. And this book, Prepare, is not only preparing the knowledge of English, but also will prepare our students to go and talk to the world about our wonderful country. And when we talk about places, we also, it's good to talk about places, how wonderful our country is, but also we need to show some role models for our students, that we have great people living by our side. And that time, 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗶 was fighting for 𝗟𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗶 to be Ukrainian, and I decided to write about 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗶. But the first time I sent my draft, my editor said that no, we are not going to write about him because it is very complicated with the authorship and we need to contact his PR manager, whether it is whether we can use his name or not. But I wanted to write about this great person, so I actually contacted by myself this director, PR director, and she said, like, sure, please use it. So that's how this text about 𝗨𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗂𝗶 came to life to this book. And when we talk about role models, it's great to talk about other people, about other places. But we also want our students to be mature and to know more about themselves. So if a student knows some areas of improvement for himself or herself, if they know about themselves a lot, they can become a better version of themselves. So that's why in Prepare 7th grade, you will find lots of different quizzes. So when students can have a look and know what kind of learner they are. Is it a visual learner, auditory learner? So they can apply it. So they will learn about some soft skills, like the skill of listening to others, and what is the difference between listen and hear, and the stuff like this. There are lots of projects, so you can engage them. So, for example, thinking about future, about our bright future, and what can we do for it. And that's what I personally find very interactive and interesting, because for every person to know about himself or herself, that's it's vital, I believe. So in general, what I wanted to talk about, I wanted to show you that our kids are our future. And these are, as Nelson Mandela once said, so our children are the rock on which our future will be built, our greatest asset as a nation. Our generation right now, our army is fighting for our freedom. So our generation will fight for our country, and we do hope that we win as soon as possible. But the kids who are 12 years old now, who are 13 years old now, they are future leaders. They are the leaders of our country, the creators of our national wealth, and they will protect everything that we have. So they need to stay here, and they need to be proud of our country. And that's why it's our duty. I personally believe that this is our duty to teach them well. And we can teach them well if we are proud of our country. Personally, I am, and I put all my soul and my heart into this book, and I would really appreciate if you use it well. So that's what I have, what I have prepared. So one more time, my name is Яна Свердлюк. Here you can see my contact details, and I will be more than happy to cooperate with you and to answer the questions if you have got any. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Inna, very much for such an interesting speech, such an interesting talk, because me and my colleagues, we were like chatting in our work group, and we were like, wow. It's a completely different experience when you actually like talk to a person who makes books for our Ukrainian children, because not very often do you get the opportunity to do so, first of all, but second of all, those people aren't usually open to actually sharing their experience. So thank you very much for that. I see a lot of thank yous in the chat box.
Thank you. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased to see that, because I was so worried. And
can you show your contact information one more time? Some people
yes,
are asking in the chat
just
box.
Just a second. Yes, I will.
Yes.
So that's a big pleasure to talk to you today. And as I have said, it was quite a journey. It was a bit challenging. I can't say it's so easy. So you must understand, so it's not only the author who is working, but there is a bunch of editors, and you need to be ready. So the drafts are coming back, and so sometimes your ego says, "Come on," but you can come down. And then at the end, you have this wonderful treasure. When I saw the book first time, I was like, wow, this is the book I want to use during my lessons. And when you are passionate about something, and when you are proud of this, so you want to share it with your colleagues. So colleagues, please use it, because it's treasure. It's treasure for your classwork, and it's a good foundation. So just add a pinch of your creativity and your vibes, and you will have a wonderful lesson, and you will be a star.
Thank you once again. Thank you very, very much. So I see that we don't have any questions in the chat box. So yes, thank you, Inna, for sharing your experience with us, for giving us a deeper dive into the book. Okay, so again, we will have a short break once again, so we can just relax, take a little walk, maybe make ourselves some tea, and then we will be back to continue with our conference. So now I'm the sole presenter for the next two topics, so to say. Once again, thank you all for joining, for being here with us today. We are very, very grateful that you chose to spend your day today with me, with my colleagues, and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, you will spend your hours with my colleagues from our I forgot how to say, sorry, my brain is for some reason decided to leave the chat, for our partners. So please join the other 2 days of our conference. You will learn a lot of useful and interesting information. And yes, so a little reminder about the certificates, once again, as usual. So you will receive 2 days after the conference ends, you will receive a thank you letter from Zoom, in which you will be given a link to the feedback form. Please make sure that you fill out that feedback form, and please be patient, because you will be receiving your certificates for attending the conference within 10 working days. Remember, we have a lot of you. We love all of you, but we need some time to make sure that all the certificates are correct, that they are all made. And yes, we need to take some time to make it happen. Okay, so today's topic, the first topic of my speech today is easy lesson planning with teacher's book support. Yes, a quality check. So we all know that a teacher's book is the best base for all of the teachers when it comes to actually planning a lesson, yes, making a lesson happen. So how can we actually use it, all of the resources it has, and why is it basically a ready-to-use lesson plan? I will show you all the secrets. Okay, so as usual, a little bit about me. Yes, I have about 10 years of experience of working with English, both in English classrooms and in our usual classrooms. I know how it is to work with English standards in primary school and in secondary school. I worked and still work with different age groups. I really enjoy making and using digital resources and online-based resources that can come in handy for my students and for other teachers. And as I usually like to say, in my own humble opinion, I am an expert in creating different materials, digital materials, also for students. You can see my contact information at the bottom of the slide. If you need to, you can contact me. If you need any advice, if you need some answers about any of our Linguist Publishing House products, you need any information, please feel free to contact me. I will do my best to help you. Okay, so the agenda for today, yes? So we will talk about how many types of lesson plans are actually out there, what components are essential for making a good lesson, and how can we actually use the teacher's book for the lesson planning, yeah? So when we talk about types of lessons, we need to talk first of all about the importance, yes, of actually having a lesson plan and why it's needed. So just a second. So yeah, my cat, she might hop onto the table because she's sitting right beside me on the chair. So if you see her in front of the camera, don't worry. Yes, thank you. Me and my cat, yes. So, lesson planning is very, very important, and it can't be overlooked in any capacity whatsoever. So, some of the reasons why it's important. First of all, it's achieving educational objectives, right? So, what do we need to achieve after the lesson is basically done? Yes, because, for example, we started working with a new topic, and today our goal was to learn new vocabulary, right? But sometimes by the end of the lesson, that goal has not been achieved whatsoever for many different reasons, yes? Or maybe it was achieved for some students, but not for all of them. So when you plan a lesson, yes, you actually identify, you can identify concepts and skills that your students need to learn, yes, to achieve particular top goals. And of course, you need to implement strategies that will be effective in actually achieving those educational objectives from your students, yes? The next reason why lesson planning is important, it's providing an organized learning experience, yeah? Planning contributes to basically organizing lessons and, of course, classrooms in a particular manner, right? Because, for example, some students will talk more during the lesson with a certain teacher. When it's a lesson with the other teacher, they are silent, yes? They are not talking as much. And it can be switched, right? So, of course, we need to provide students with a structure that will allow them to understand, yes, what we want to teach them and what they need to learn in order to achieve certain goals that we set for them at the beginning of the lesson, right? Of course, we need to arrange content that we give our students. So be it a written text that they need to read, be it a video recording or an audio recording, right? We need to make sure that we know which material goes after which, yes? Yes, Oksana, good plan is a half of successful lesson. Yes, I agree with you, very, very much so. And yes, of course, when you have a set structure, right, for your lesson, you know what, maybe you can switch the order of some parts because you basically got a particular result right now, right this moment, and you feel that the part of the lesson that you planned for a little bit later on, it can be moved and it should be moved up to here because it will work better right here, right? So that's why we need to have plans for the lessons. Next, our third reason for lesson planning, yes, is enhancing the effectiveness of the teaching process. Planning helps us, teachers, yes, in choosing some suitable strategies that will work for our classroom. And we all know that every classroom is different, right? So, for example, one strategy worked for this classroom, the other did not work for the other classroom, yeah? And like, I did the same as I did in that classroom, but why? Why did it not work? Yeah, yes, sure, Valentina, yes, you can connect from another gadget, sure, but make sure you use your information from Zoom, the correct information. Okay, and when you choose, yes, the suitable strategy and use effective materials for each classroom that you work with, it helps you and your students in achieving those educational objectives, yes, and of course it enhances student interaction with the teacher, with you the teacher, with their classmates, and of course it motivates them more because they feel that it's important for them to actually do something to achieve that goal that is set for them. And of course, the last important part of lesson planning is meeting diverse students' needs, right? So, thanks to planning, teachers can consider all of the diverse needs of students, and of course provide all of the learning experiences that they can to actually meet those needs, right? So for example, some students can work with the material better when they read it themselves. Yes, some of the students will work better with the materials when they listen to it more. Or some of the students need to, I don't know, write it down themselves. Yes, make notes. Our students are very, very different, and they all need different strategies and different methods that will work for them. Yes, and we need to meet our students somewhere in the middle when it comes to actually teaching them. So let's talk about lesson plans. What types of lesson plans are out there, and what they can give us? Yes, which ones should we use? So the first one is a project-based lesson plan. I think this one is familiar to all of you. Why? Because as you saw from some of our books, not some, I think all of our books, even for the primary school, they have project lessons. So the project-based lesson plan relies on implementing an educational project, yes, that will require finding some new information, working with that information, and creating a project as a result of working with that information, yes? And that educational project will include working on that project will include doing multiple tasks from your students, of course, and of course different activities where your students learn how to collaborate together, yes, and of course in that collaboration achieving their set goal for that project. Next we have analytical lesson plan, yeah? So this plan, the focus of this plan is analyzing the content that our students work with in detail, yes, analyzing the students' needs and interests when it comes to this particular topic, this particular material that the students work on. And of course, it's designing instructional activities for that material that will meet those needs that your students have. So it's a very complex lesson plan, but it's very, very worth it in the end. Okay, innovative lesson plan. Yes, so this plan actually involves using new and innovative teaching techniques and methods, some such as educational technologies, which you saw from my colleagues today, and of course it's educational games, it's illustrated stories, illustrated by pictures, by videos, by music. Who knows which means will you choose to illustrate what you want to show your students, right? Some videos, maybe there's not stories about certain topics, yes, but maybe there's like videos that can be shown to your students to explain the topic. Okay. Next we have cooperative lesson plan. So, who do you think cooperates here? Whose cooperation we are talking about here in this lesson plan? Just students cooperating among themselves, or students and the teacher? Yes, yes, Anna, thank you very much. Yes, both teacher and students. Yes, yes. So these lessons that will be planned according to the cooperative lesson plan, they will include collaboration among students and, of course, with the teacher. Yes, because let's be honest here, despite students knowing a lot of things, they also need to have some guidance from the teacher, right? And more often than not, the teacher needs to step in sometimes when it's too much tension, yes, between students. So yes, and of course the teacher needs to give some basic information for the students that they will work with. Okay, thank you all very, very much. Okay, next we have a flipped lesson plan. I think a lot of you already use this plan. Yes? So the core part of this lesson plan is that content is presented by students. Am I right? So the teacher is like a mentor. He's staying on the sidelines, right? He is just helping when needed, but the material is presented by the students to their classmates, right? Yes. So can you tell us all in the comment box, in the chat box, are those lessons successful? And give us a percentage. So, for example, you say yes, and is it 100% effective, or maybe like 75, 80% effective? Okay. We will wait. Okay. So 50-50, 75. Okay. 85. It depends, yes, on the topic. That yes, it's not for everyone. Okay, good. So it depends on the topic, right? Which topic the students are presenting. And of course, it depends on what materials they choose to present the topic with, right? Because they can use videos, they can use pictures, they can use, I don't know, pages of the books. And yes, it depends on the level of the students. Yes, I agree with you all. But this type of lesson can be very useful when all of your students, yes, are basically on the same level of knowledge, and they can freely communicate in between themselves, right? And last but not least is, of course, the traditional lesson plan. Yes? So it includes our traditional, essential, someone would say, components, such as learning objectives, the duration of the lesson, the prescribed content from the textbooks, yes, the teaching strategies, and of course, the assessment of what our students do, right? So, yes, thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Ivana. Yes. So we choose the plan for the lesson according to many different factors, but also mainly on the material that we need to present to our students, right? Okay, so 8 essential lesson plan elements. Yes, so of course the stages and the steps of the lessons may be similar, may be interchangeable, but we need to make sure that we include all of these, or at least some of these components, elements into our lessons. So first of all, it's student choice. So one of the best ways to make your lesson interesting, engaging, meaningful is, of course, to give students a way to make the lesson meaningful to them. Yes, so that lesson, the topic of the lesson is relatable to them. So, of course, that can be achieved by allowing your students to make some videos or share some videos if they have those videos already about a certain topic. Yes, maybe creating a presentation when it comes to, yes, the flipped lesson, yeah, creating a presentation about a certain topic that they will be presenting as a teacher. Of course, you can decide what level of student choice is sufficient for your classroom, but make sure that you give your students the opportunity to actually feel the connection to the lesson, yeah, and of course, don't forget about the personalized instructions for each of the lessons. Okay, next is cross-curricular. Yeah, so we all know that there are some cross-curricular lessons already added to some of the textbooks, but seeing as the world and of course the future career of our students, whichever they choose to achieve, actually to get to, they are not divided into subjects, right? They are all interconnected with different subjects, with different topics, and why not use it in our classroom? Yeah, while we still focus on skills and on our objectives that we have for the lesson, it's important, of course, to show that our lesson will be useful for not just for English, yes, for speaking English, but for example, for sharing information about our country, yes, to tell others that Ukraine is an independent country that is full of talented people, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Okay, next is, of course, the 21st century skills. Why? We all talk about 21st century skills. They are needed not just for the students, but also for the teachers, right? Because without being able to work with any type of gadget today, you are missing out on a lot of things. Yes? And we need to teach our students all of those skills so they can freely, without any problems, communicate, collaborate with others, yes, create something new. They need to use their critical thinking skills, right, to live in this world, because without critical thinking, for me at least, in my opinion, critical thinking is a very practical ability that students need to have, no matter which subject they study. Yes, critical thinking is probably something that we need to help our students develop more in and out of the classroom. And please don't discourage your students about voicing their thoughts and opinions on something, okay? Because when they see that it's allowed and that someone actually wants to hear them, yes, they will know that they can do that, yes, and they should do that. Okay, but of course, we need to teach our students that when we communicate online, yes, we need to be polite. We don't have to bully others, and we need to still be mindful of other people, and we need to make sure that we keep things in mind when we actually talk to other people online, either if we know those people or if we don't, right? Okay, next we have hands-on instructions. So whether it's a part of the student's choice or it's a part of the exercise that the whole classroom does, hands-on learning is very effective yes, for students to actually retain that information that they learned. It doesn't have to be something monumental. It can be something small, but for example, for you, it might not be monumental to remember how in present simple the verb to be is used correctly, yes, because you know it automatically. But for some of the students, it's a very monumental thing, right? They finally remembered how to correctly use the verb to be in different types of sentences in present simple. And yes, so for some people it's not monumental, but for some it is. Okay, next we have multimodal, yes, elements. So of course, if you present the information to your students one at a time and only in one format, so by just telling it, most students probably won't be able to recall what you told them within 5 minutes, simply because they have this strange ability where they tune out the teacher's voice and they're like, no, I'm not listening to this. It's not interesting to me. It can be passed. It can flow over my head. I don't need it. So please make sure that you give your students different sources of information. So for example, you can say the rules, and of course you can ask your students to follow what you say in the textbook. Maybe for those who are more used to learning from listening, they will remember what you said. Those who prefer reading and learning that way, yes, they will read and they will remember what they were listening and studying for. And of course, we should not forget about multiple different tasks that we can give our students to actually achieve the goals that we have, yes? So never, ever stay too long on any part of a lesson, because your students will get bored very, very easily. And I know it's hard to find different ways to make your students do something, yes, especially when it comes to solving some exercises with grammar. But yes, you can change the format of the exercise and it will work out just fine. Okay, next we have differentiation. So differentiation, it's familiar for teachers who work with special education classrooms or with children who have special education needs, yes? But you also can use the techniques, the same techniques in your usual classrooms. Why? Because that way you can find some new ways to make your students be more involved into the topic, and maybe some of those students needed that extra flair to the task to actually know, yes, what's going on. And we have evolving. So of course, the teachers cannot become stagnant in their work. Why? Because then your lessons are just the same each and every time, and your students will not follow you through the lesson whatsoever. They will just sit, listen to you, and do nothing about it. So please make sure that you look for some new techniques, some new methods, and it will be very, very fun to use. So how should we use, yes, the teacher's book for lesson planning? The main question of our webinar today. So this is how the teacher's book looks we are seeing the Full Blast Plus for Ukraine grade 7 teacher's book. So one page is from the student's book, the other page is the teacher's book page. Yeah, let's look at it closer, shall we? So first of all, you will see all of the functions and structures that you will be working with during the lesson, or lessons for that matter, presented along with the list of the active vocabulary. And you can see that the vocabulary is divided by sections, which is very, very useful also. So you already know your objectives, yes, for the lessons. What functions you will work on, what structures you will work with, and what vocabulary you will be using. Yeah, everything is already here. Of course, you have step-by-step guide to teaching each and every topic. So you have very easy to comprehend advice that is given by teachers with years of expertise on how to best present to your students the grammar, the reading tasks, listening tasks, and how to make sure that your students leave the classroom with all of that knowledge inside their heads, right? Of course, we have background notes that provide teachers some further information on the topic of the lesson. And you can share that information with your students because it will help. You will be able to buy the teacher's books. I will share with you this information in just a minute. So yeah. Okay. Next, we also have some additional comprehension questions that we can use to enhance the understanding of students. So, for example, this part was taken from the reading lesson, and these questions can be used to see just how much your students understood from the text that they read. Yes? So, have they understood what is going on in the text, or have they just pretended to understand? Okay, next. We, of course, have some optional activities that we can include when needed, or we can omit them if we don't have enough time, or we can even keep them in mind and use them later on during, I don't know, maybe the next lesson. Of course, those, yes. I will answer the question right now. Yes, you will be able to buy the teacher's books. Yes, you will. I will tell you all about it in just a second. Okay. So, and the cherry on top, you will have all of the answers to the students' books exercises in the teacher's book. Yes. And what about the printed teacher's books? So, first of all, you have two ways of acquiring those printed teacher's books. How so? First of all, you can get it free when you order 20 plus original workbooks for each of the courses from Prepare and Full Blast. So, for example, you want to order 25 workbooks, yes? Please contact our managers, our representatives that you already know, and place your order. And you will be able to get your hands on a printed copy of the teacher's book for free. And sometime during I hope very, very much so during summer, or maybe closer to autumn, we will be starting the selling of the teacher's books on our internet shop. And you, of course, can contact our managers too to order your copy. So you will be all happy to get your hands on a printed teacher's book. I know that. Trust me, I've been in the same boat, so I know how it is. So, as usual, thank you. Thank you. Do you have any questions? So I will check. Yes, Irina is very, very correct in the chat box. Yes, 20 original workbooks equals 1 free printed teacher's book. Yes, thank you all. Thank you. So once again, we will have a short break, and then I will be back to talk about use of English. So let me. Okay, I will share my screen. I will start the presentation with our products, and you have yourself 5 minutes, maybe even more. Yes, 5 minutes to relax, make yourself some tea, drink some water, and then we will be back. Can you tell me if you see my screen? Yes? So again, the reminder about the certificate. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And I have a little spoiler for you about summertime. From us all, from me and from my colleagues, we are preparing something very, very interesting. It would be summer courses from Linguist and from our partners. That's all I'm willing to share right now. And trust me, it will be very useful for you, for your teaching. Зараз I will use my Ukrainian, sorry. Друковану книгу для вчителя можна буде придбати для 5, 6 і 7 класу. Для ПРІ-ПА і для Full Blast. Тобто для всіх підручників середньої школи можна придбати книгу для вчителя. Окей. Yes, we will expect the coolest ELT summer with Linguist. Yes, I'm not sure about the topic, the price. Sorry, the price right now. I have no information about the price, but as soon as we have any information about that, we will share the information on our Facebook. So make sure you check our social media sites. Okay. And the last topic for today that we will discuss, it's to teach use of English for NMT or not to teach. I think this one is very close for a lot of teachers because So use of English, it's not just about NMT. It's about seeing how our students can actually understand the language and use it. So yes, it's the section in the NMT, but this section can show how your students not just know the rules, yes, but how they actually can use it in practice. Okay, so we will discuss what is use of English, yes, what makes this section so hard to work with, and how can we help students prepare for this section, how our students can actually learn to work with this section. So what is use of English? So first of all, it's a part of the English NMT, which contains two tasks mostly, yes, one for grammar, one for vocabulary, yes, yes. Ivana says that they teach students, yes, they prepare their students for NMT, yes, during all time at school, because at NMT, not you, not your students know for sure which grammar, yes, topics they will be working with. Yes, and during all of the student years in school, your students, the children that you teach, essentially study the language, not just to pass an exam, but to actually know it and to actually use it, right? So next, we know that use of English, when it comes to NMT at least, is all about multiple choice tasks. Yes, because we have the text, we have some empty spaces in those tasks, and we have 4 options to choose from, which will help us fill in the blank. Yes, and of course, yes, I agree, Maria. Yes, I agree, very much so. And we also know that the use of English section shows how much your students actually know about the use of language they studied. Not just for 1 year, not for 2 years, but for up to 10 years. Yes, when we actually look at it from that point of view, it's hard to understand why students can't pass NMT with high grades. Yes, when they spend at least 10 years studying English in school. How is that actually possible? Yeah, to spend that much time studying a subject and still not having that much knowledge in it. How is it possible? Well, it is. Because sadly, as much as we would want to use English in our everyday life with our students, sadly, it's impossible. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons why, because our students don't have first and like hands-on contact with English, and they just don't use it very much. That's why they are not on a very familiar footing, at least some of them, when it comes to actually using English and showing what they know. So, according to the reports from the Ukrainian Center of Educational Quality Assessment, or as in Ukrainian we usually call it Український центр оцінювання якості освіти, high school students that were passing NMT and before that ZNO test, they had the most problems with. So keep in mind, this is the reports that were taken with a 3-year period between them. So 2013, 2016, 2019, and 2021. So according to those reports, these were the topics that were the most that had the most problems, that our students had the most problems with. So first of all, it's numerals, especially compound numerals, which are used to describe centuries, which are used to describe the age of people, of persons, and so numerals in general, we can say, yeah? Then next we have verb patterns, such as infinitives and gerund. So students, I think you will agree with me that they more often than not can't distinguish what is infinitive and what is gerund and what should be used in a particular sentence. Yes, until you point out to them that you have this and you have this, and that's why you should use this one. So they are not big fans of learning the rules, yes, when we should use gerund and when we should use infinitives. And they're like, I just chose because it sounded right. So yes, they can do that. Okay. Next, we have pronouns, but not their personal forms. Yes, not I, he, she, it, we, you, they, but mostly it's reflective pronouns. It's like, yes, myself, yourself, by myself. Yes, yes, some confusing words also. Next, the use of articles. So the use of articles was problematic for the students when it came to the need for the article in front of the names of continents, cities, so just your general rules, yes, about the articles. For some reason, they tend to forget the use of those rules. Yes, possessive case, you're very right, Ivana, yes. So idioms, very, I believe 23 or 26% of students had problems with the use of idioms in the use of English part of the test. Next, we have prepositions, yes, and most of all, the use of prepositions in phrasal verbs, how that actually works. Yes, so which preposition do they need to add to create a suitable phrasal verb? Okay, next we have tenses and their use. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes the students find it hard to understand if the sentence is in active voice or in a passive voice. And that's where the problem comes when they need to choose the correct grammar, tense forms to put into the sentence. And one time, so my story from one of my lessons last week. So one of my students, so she is preparing with me for NMT, and she did this exercise in which there was 2 or 3 sentences in the exercise in passive voice. And there was like 8 to 10 sentences in general in the exercise, and she had to fill in the blanks. And so I asked her, so we are checking her homework, and I asked her, did you have any problems with the exercise? Yes, I had a problem with this sentence, and I need your help because I don't understand why, because it feels wrong to me. And I'm like looking at the sentence, and I'm like, okay, so what did you put? And she put the passive voice form in the sentence. And I asked her, why are you sure that it's passive voice in this sentence? Well, I just thought it works better here. But I'm like, you have the subject right before this blank space. You have the active voice. Your sentence is an active voice. It's like, oh, yes. And I put this option into the blank space. I read that sentence out loud, and I think something's not right. And I'm like, but why didn't you look at the sentence more closely and see that you have the subject and everything is an active voice? I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was passive. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. So sometimes students can, even knowing the rules, they can be not sure, yes, what to use. Okay, word formation. Yes, so I think a lot of you will agree that our students sometimes don't understand that a word, yes, some adjectives or some nouns or some verbs in English language can be created, can be made by adding a suffix or an ending, if you will, to the noun, to the verb, to the adjective, and somehow it's changed into a completely new word and it can be used, yes, in a sentence. And like, I don't know, I'm not so sure about this, like, why? It can happen, but our students mostly just forget about it. They tend to learn new words just by looking at words and not looking at parts that make that word happen, yeah? Next, we have passive voice, as I already mentioned before, yes? And we have synonyms. So sometimes our students forget that there are similar words that can be used, that can be interchangeable when it comes to saying some things in English, yeah? And it is what it is. Okay, so once upon a time, I was like this teacher on the screen who was thinking to herself, what in the world can I do to help my students in preparation for use of English? Because to revise all of the grammar topics that they have already learned, it's pointless because it takes up so much time, and yes, practice makes perfect, yes, but that practice needs to be full of materials, full of examples that your students will actually meet in real life in exams that they will be passing, right? So how can we actually do that? Yes, so what will make the preparation to use of English easier? How it will happen, yeah, easier for our students. So first of all, it's working with multiple choice tasks as often as possible by integrating them into your practice during the lessons. So I know that some of the course books, they already have those types of exercises in them. So please teach your students, yes, that you can have quite a few options, yes, to choose from. And they need to be able to choose the option that works for their sentence. It can be different strategies. They can eliminate obviously wrong choices, yeah, first of all. Then, of course, they can look at the tenses, yes. For example, your sentence with the blank space in it is obviously in present simple. So when one of the options is was or were or did, it's obviously not from this sentence, yeah. So of course, teach your students how to work, what types of strategies can be implemented when working with multiple choice tasks. And they need to be familiar with those types of tasks, because if they don't, when they encounter those types of tasks right at the brink of the exam, and they're like, what is this? I don't know what's this. I don't know how to work with it. Okay, next we have improving your students' knowledge in grammar with revision and practice. So yes, I said that we shouldn't revise all grammar, yeah? Why not all grammar? Because if you work with your students, you probably know which grammar topics they have problems with. So you definitely will concentrate your attention and your students' attention on those particular topics that your students have problems with, right? So why do we need to revise articles for the third time if your student is very familiar with them and he or she knows how to use articles? Why should we talk about it for the fourth time, yeah, or for the fifth time? Next is expanding your students' vocabulary with phrasal verbs, idioms, and collocations. So don't be afraid to teach your students those, I don't want to say stale, because when I say stale, I instantly think about bread, yes? But stative verbs we have, yes, when it comes to present simple and present progressive or present continuous. So they stay the same no matter what, yes? And when we talk about phrasal verbs, yes, so some verbs with some prepositions, they have their own meaning, yes? We know that it will change a little bit depending on the context of the sentence, but your students need to know that this phrasal verb may mean this, this, and this, yes? This idiom can mean this. Maybe it will be changed a little bit depending on the sentence, yes? And of course, different collocations and how they can change depending on the tenses, depending on the situations, depending on the topic of the conversation, yeah? Next, we have regular practice of word formation. Please teach your students, tell them that some words can change, can evolve, however you want to call it, when you add to them a prefix, a suffix, an ending, whichever it is. And please make sure to tell your students that that those words that are created with the addition of the prefix, the suffix, the ending, they may keep a part of their original meaning from the core, yeah, but they may change slightly depending on which part of speech they have become. Yes, so for example, we have involve, yes, and it's, if my memory serves me correctly, it's a verb, yeah? But when we add meant, we have involvement, and it's a noun suddenly, yes? And like, huh? What's this? It was a verb, but now it's a noun, yeah? Yes, show word families and please tell your students the meaning of those changed words. So don't just give them the list of words that can be created with this core, yeah, but also give them the meanings, because it's important to have them understand what you can say with those words, right? And our last advice here, my last advice here, is help your students understand different sentence structures and sentence transformations. We all know that we can rephrase sentences a lot of different ways, yeah? And we can say the same thing, but we can do it 3 different times in English language, right? So please make sure that you and your students practice and get familiar with how you can rephrase the sentence, how it can change depending on your rephrasal, and how it can change just the overall look of the sentence, yes, and what it wants to tell us. So how can we actually do that? What materials, what sources should we use? So first of all, I will share with you my favorite materials that I use. These are definitely my favorite, and I and my students, me and my students, we definitely loved working with these books. And to be honest with you, I'm not showing you this just to sell the books, yeah, but because I know that you and your students will love it, and you will only benefit from actually using it. So, for example, here we have the first topic, yeah, New Year, New Challenge, and we start with vocabulary. But we are not just working with simple words. We are basically working with phrasal verbs. We are working with adjectives for certain topics, yeah? And after you get familiar with those phrasal verbs, and how do you get familiar? You get familiar, you and your students get familiar with those words by doing a quiz. Yes, by answering some questions about themselves. And for example, is the start of the school year, you, yeah, can't wait until you break up for the next holidays, or feel optimistic, you think you'll get on well this year. And they see those phrasal verbs used in particular contexts, yeah, and they know that that phrasal verb, yeah, so usually break up is used when we are talking about two people separating, yeah, but when we see this sentence, can't wait until you break up for the next holidays, and like, what, break up for the next holidays, but what? So break up in this context would mean that all of the students will leave school, yeah, go their separate ways on holidays, but then they will come back together, yeah? So it's a very fun and practical way to actually get your students acquainted with new vocabulary, yeah? And actually, after they get familiar with it, yes, they use exercise 3 here. Yes, and they need to match these phrasal verbs with their meanings just to make sure that they were correct, yes, about their suspicions of the meanings. And then after that, we have, additional practice, yes, because they need to complete the questions or the sentences with the correct form of the phrasal verb. So they learn something new, yeah, and they do it together, they have additional practice. Right? Next, so once more, section vocabulary, yeah, vocabulary section, and we have ION, nouns, about education. So, again, word formation, yes, how the words are formed in English language and how they can change their meaning when it comes to it, right? So, we have the rules, we have the explanation here, and then we have the additional practice. Yes, we start with the explanation and some of the examples, and we follow that with practice. And we also have some additional practice at the back of the book. So, of course, you will be able to revise grammar, but the grammar section is always broken up into smaller pieces, and those pieces put together because they go together. Yeah, so for example, here we are talking about simple, continuous, or perfect tenses, and we are talking about present or past simple, continuous, or perfect tenses. We have sentences, yeah, with the tenses used in them. And we have the meanings, yes, right here. And we need to match them. And then we have the rules. So we need to match all of this from exercise 1 to exercise 2. That helps your students, yes, to recollect all of those knowledge that they have. And that way you can clearly see, yeah, what's missing, what they are not remembering. And then you can actually point out what your students need to work on. And let's not forget, yes, the grammar reference and practice. So we have additional pages where we have all of the explanations for the grammar rules, and we have additional exercises for further practice that we can use. And let's not forget about the additional practice that we have in the student's book, yes? And also the workbook provides just as much additional practice, and you can use those exercises however you want. Okay, again, grammar, yeah, and additional practice. So, and the content that you will see in the book is very, very modern, and it's very interesting. It's easily relatable to your students. So don't be afraid that that your students won't be able to find something interesting, yes, for them to work with. Okay, and for example here, yeah, we have modals and we have the exercises. And please remember that Prepare for grades 10 and 11, which I'm showing you right now, already has the exercises, yes, that we see, the tasks that we see in the exams in NMT, for that matter, already built into the book. So your students are already familiar with what tasks they will be working with. Okay. Okay. So, yes, the product placement is here. So, yes, Prepare for School exams for grade 10 and 11 is created according to all of the programs for high school students. You can easily use it for your high school students. And yes, it's not just for preparation for NMT or for any type of exam. It's just a great course that helps your students to basically summarize what they learned during primary school, secondary school, and this course will allow them to develop more of their speaking abilities, because I just showed you the use of English part, but trust me, there are much more information in the books, and it's very interesting, to say the least. Okay, so you will be grateful that you found this book. Grateful not in the condescending type of word, yeah, but it's hard to make students be interested in something, yeah, and these books, they are truly one of those two of those books that make your students actually like English lessons. Okay, do you have maybe any questions for me? I'm checking the chat box. Okay, so do you think, should we take a break? Again, 5 minutes, even less. The teacher's book for Prepare School Exam 10 and 11 is on the Linguist Publishing House website. It's only in the ebook form, but without break. Okay, but I'm not sure. I have no information if we will be printing it. When I know for sure, I will let you all know. I will for sure make a post on our Facebook and I will tell you all. Okay, so I see that you don't want a break. Yes, so the students' books are not available online. The teachers' books are. The students' books are, I think there are samples of students' books. Okay, okay, so I see, yes. So I think we can move on to the quiz. Yeah? Okay, just a second. I'm sorry. I will open the quiz. And I will share my screen. So please remember that for the quiz, you will need to use Slido. So while I prepare for the start of the quiz, open up Slido on your mobile phones, yeah? And you will be able to take part in the quiz. Okay, just a second. Okay. So, okay. Can you see this quiz time poster? Yeah. I will share the link how to join. Yes. So I will show you the prizes. So for the first place, you will receive a student's book, Full Blast +5, and the grammar book. For the second place, you will receive Prepare for School Exams, 11th grade student book, and the No Leader Tests B1. And for the third place, you will receive Imagine One for Ukraine students book and Imagine One for Ukraine writing practice. Okay, so please scan the QR code, join our Slido. Irina. So scan the QR code and you will be able to join the quiz. So we will wait. We will have 5 questions in our quiz. Yeah. Sorry, I can't send you a link. You can type in the Google, you can type Slido, or you can just type slido.com and you can add the numbers. And that way you will be able to join. Yes. Irina already shared with you in the chat box what you can do. And I think that Zoom on the phone, it can be like not folded, to say the least. So you can just, I don't know how, скажу українською. Тобто можна згорнути Zoom на основному вашому екрані мобільного телефону і зайти в браузер. Мені здається, що це дозволяється. Я так якось робила якогось разу. Окей. Але, будь ласка, коли ви приєднуєтеся до квізу, пам'ятайте, що потрібно вказати ваше ім'я, прізвище. Так? Тобто не забудьте вказати, хто ви, щоб ми знали, кому можна буде відправити потім подарунок. I can send you a link. You can type into Google slido.com and then put in the code that we have near the hashtag. Okay. So I think we can start. Yeah? Most of the people who wanted already joined. Okay. So, okay. I see lots of people. There's so many of you. Wow. Wow. 37, 41, 51, 56. Wow, 61. Yes. Okay, so let's start. Please make sure that you read the questions. They are all about the speeches that you saw today. Okay? Okay. So, what is special about the teacher's books, yes, for the secondary school from Linguist Publishing? Diana talked about it at the beginning, yes? You can open them from your device. You can get them or buy them at Linguist. You can find the answers and lesson plans in them, all of the above or neither of the above. You have a minute left to answer that. Okay. You can use your laptop. You can use your tablet. You can do it even on your computer. It's not just for phones. You can do it on whichever device you want. So don't put any spaces in between numbers when you type in this code. So don't put the spaces. Okay. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All of the above. Okay. Good. So we have Alena Shashko, we have Katrina, and we have Maria Pankova as the first three. Okay. Polina Hiruk, Elena Chaporodets. Okay. Let's move on to our second question. How many types of teachers were there in Diana's test? So remember how many types of teachers who play games with their students or don't play games. Oh, I think because we surpassed a certain number of people, Slido decided to not let others join. I have no idea why. Okay, so we have 7, 6, 5, 4, or 3. Oh, okay, I see that Mira in the chat box shared a link. Try using the link from Mira. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. 4. Okay. Let's check. There were actually 5 types of teachers. Okay. Okay, a little, our leaderboard changed a little bit. Okay. So we have our third question. It's about my lesson planning webinar. So what type of lesson plan relies on implementing an educational project with multiple tasks and activities and students' collaboration? Is it flipped lesson plan, project-based lesson plan, innovative lesson plan, traditional lesson plan, or analytical lesson plan? So, make your choice. Okay, I see. Okay, 126, 30, 31. Okay. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So we have a project-based lesson plan. Okay. Yes. So let's see the leaderboard. Okay, Tatiana is firmly in the lead. Okay. So question number 4. It would be about Inna Skripnik's topic that she talked about. Okay, which of the following best justifies the integration of Ukrainian culture of Ukraine, into school English lessons? Promote cultural pride and national identity among Ukrainian students to foster understanding and appreciation of Ukraine's rich heritage among students, strengthening linguistic skills by exploring cultural context, strengthening linguistic skills. It was me. I put 2 options, the same options, sorry. And all of the above. Yes. Make sure you will join the 2nd and the 3rd day of our conference. You will be able to participate in 2 more quizzes, but make sure that you have somebody else's phone close to you, maybe your son or daughter or your husband's phone, or use your laptop or computer. Yes, I see a lot of people chose all of the above. Yes, they were correct. Okay. Okay, we have a change in the leaderboard. Okay, okay. And our last question. It's about my little webinar about use of English. So, are you all ready? Let's go. According to the reports, we talked about this, from the Ukrainian Center of Educational Assessment, high school students have the most problems with infinitives and gerund, articles, collocations, tenses, or all of the above. I think the answer is very, very. Just remember what I showed you on the slide, and you will be able to answer the question, this one, very, very easily. Because we didn't talk about just about one, area that was problematic. Definitely not one. Okay. We have 15 seconds. Now 10, 9, 8. Yes, there is a mistake. I noticed just now. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Okay, all of the above. Good job. Good job. Okay, and Let's see. Yay! So, Тетяна Вишневська, if I pronounced your surname wrong, I'm sorry, has the first place, Vera has the second place, and Ольга Николаева has the third place. So, congrats to Tatiana, Vera, and Olga for winning. And let me, yay, hooray! So, please make sure that you remember, to write us, but let me remind you. So the first place, our first place winner will get, for some reason I put the 6th grade here, the 5th grade, Full Blast Plus Students Book and Grammar Book. The second place will get Prepare for School Exams, grade 11 Students Book, and the Neo Leader Tests B1. And third place is Imagine One for Ukraine, Students Book, and Writing Practice. So what do you need to do? What our 3 winners need to do? They need to send us a letter to training@linguist.ua. The subject of the letter should be March 27, winner. In the body of the letter, you need to add the information with not just your name and surname, not just your mobile phone that we can include when we send you your prize, yes, but of course don't forget about the name of your city and the number of the Nova Posta office, which would be convenient for you. Please make sure you send us the information that can be used to send you your prize, and So let me open the chat box. Let me see. Hey, I see a lot of congratulatory sentences, messages, sorry. Yes, I remember, Svetlana. Yes, I remember you. Yeah, I remember that you won. So I hope that all of the prizes that our participants have won today and will win tomorrow and the day after tomorrow will come in handy for you, and that they will be useful. And thank you all for being here with us today, for participating in the first day of our Linguist United Conference Ukraine 2024. We thank you very, very much for being here with us. And trust me, we missed you all so much, so much. You don't even understand probably how much we were waiting for this event to happen and how nervous we were, but it all went away when we logged on and when we saw your enthusiastic approach to today's day. Yes. Thank you all. Have a, the webinar for the German teachers will be tomorrow at 12 o'clock, if I remember correctly. Yeah, at 12 o'clock. Yes, congratulations to the winners. Thank you all. And we will see you all very, very soon, which means tomorrow at the second day of our conference. And of course, at the third day. Have a peaceful evening and have a relaxing and interesting rest of your week. Okay? Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. The third day. Oh, you will be learning about using digital resources and how to work with some digital resources. I won't share much with you except that.
How much?
Okay.
Tell them. We will be talking about the kids and digital teens. Please come.